shutting this because last time you could hear
the birds chirping. Who wants to hear about the world God built? Huh? Shut up, birds. Haven't had my caffeine yet. He's walking around like he's... This is what a coach does. He just walks around in a bad attitude.
slams doors.
Slams his doors till he gets his way. Welcome, YouTube viewers and fellow Peruvians and whoever else is on the internet. This is Coach to Coach. Glad you found us. I'm Coach Will. This is Coach Sheets. Sheeto had a bout of diarrhea. He will not be with us. You gotta guys, stay hydrated.
We're talking. He's always. I rarely throw shots at him.
I don't.
He always is throwing shots.
Tall.
I'm better. I'm the better brother. Look who's here. Look who's here right now. Where's he
Just
at? I don't know. I told him, hey, we're recording at this time. Ian shows up. Coach Sheeto,
cracked his pants.
Not here. Not here.
When you poop your pants as an adult, that's a wrap for the day.
Something about a job and providing for his family.
Yeah.
Just whatever. Excuses.
So this is part 2 of our why, what, who.
Who, what, why.
Who, what, why.
In the who, what, why, but we're going why, what, who.
We flipped the script on y'all. Pretty simple. Why do you coach? And I'll pass it over to Travis, because there's...
Travis. That's my name. Coach Travis.
It's Travis, or it's Travis for friends and family.
Even parents call me Coach, so.
Well, dude, that's, maybe I'm just...
I walk into the house and my mom's, hey, Coach.
I'm sorry.
Privily? Give me the paper. Why do you coach? I'd say the number one reason I coach is my son. I coach his team. I've coached him since flag. He's going to be a 5th grader next year. Been fun. I really enjoy coaching him in football. The second reason I coach is to develop great people, to make great people for our society, to help kids learn responsibility, take responsibility for their actions. There's so much you can teach, so much. I want to be a constant encourager to the kids. I want to be somebody that they know is going to tell them what they need to hear, but I'm also encouraging them. It's two-sided. You'll hear me talk about this through videos all the time. It's two-sided. It's correction and praise. It has to be both. You can't just praise, because then they live in a fairy world and everything's green grass and they're the greatest thing that ever touched the earth. That's not what you want. And then you can't constantly be on them, because then they're not going to develop, because they're going to feel like they're just a piece of poop. Really, honestly.
You don't want
to be
people.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So be a constant encourager. Number 4 I wrote down was, I want to develop a winning program. He went through it. I went through it. Loss after loss. When I got into high school, I started lifting with him. Like I said, I literally probably missed 2 or 3 workouts in my high school career.
Yeah, it's good.
And my record, man, 6 wins throughout my whole high school career.
Yeah.
Like, that is hard. When you put in the amount of work and you're at every off-season thing.
And what's tough with that, too, is the talent was there. So, we had a few very talented teams at that time.
We did.
And
our linemen.
Dude, the linemen?
D1, massive.
Name shout out, but Troy Hudson was an absolute stud, dude. And
went on to play 2 sports in college.
Yeah. But that's just a name drop one person. But there was talent that could have been developed, and
that was actually the guy that I looked up to. I was an 8th grader when he was a senior.
Yeah.
I was ball boy one game, and Troy, he kicked also, and he had a kicking shoe, and then he would switch, so I had to give him his shoe and a ball.
You were lace boy.
It was awesome, man. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. That stuff is awesome. But you're right. I want to build a winning program that we can be proud of, because Peru hasn't been known for football since the 70s or 80s. And we had a short spurt in the 90s, and we did good last year. We were the conference champions. We're on the right path, brother. But I believe it starts at the youth.
It does.
I do.
Yeah.
If you want a winning program in high school, then you've got to get the right people in the right positions at the youth level.
So parents, get your kids involved.
Absolutely.
Get your kids involved, man.
Exactly, yeah. And even in the off season, and I'm new to being the director, but now that I'm the director, I feel a little more free in what I can do. I feel like I'm not stepping on toes.
Right.
Because I don't want to do that. I didn't want the old director to feel like I was stepping on his toes, which he was great. He never made me feel bad, but it's just different. So I do open field agility and fundamental training now, once a week. They come.
You posted the video.
I had a video posted about it, yeah. So we were doing fundamentals and stuff.
Nice.
It's huge. It's massive, and parents are loving it. We're not going crazy, but we are working.
It's fun for the kids.
They love it. They
gets
talk
them out.
about it,
Yeah.
So, and please go watch that video. Those kids, I asked permission from their parents to put them on YouTube. They said yes, and they said their kids were just so excited to be put on Coach to Coach. Please go, give them a shout out, and just put a comment on there, something encouraging.
Yeah, and that's kind of caveat off that. We're gonna develop better footage too of the kids. It's a good starter.
Whoa,
and gets kids.
We didn't talk about that. Whoa. Oh, this is first time hearing of this. Wasn't good, huh?
Little Greenie.
Wow.
Little Greenie.
I can't have it.
It's a little Greenie. I'm not gonna lie. It looked like a tremendous.
Oh! Look who decided to show up.
Oh my God! Must have got his bout of diarrhea cleared up.
Yeah, Coach Sheets is here, everybody. The coach who doesn't show up.
I've never been more disappointed in my life. I gotta work.
Coach can sit on my lap.
Coach Sheeto is here.
Coach Sheeto.
We actually made plans, and he said, "Hey guys, I'm out." Something about providing for his family.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It seems shaky to me.
He said 2 weeks. We'll do this every 2 weeks.
I'm gonna set my coffee on his.
We were 1 week.
We were a little.
1 week.
We were a little off.
Set his coffee on his hat.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Look at these cool hats we got.
Yeah, look at this AC Door Company. Give him a shout out if you got any garage door needs. Coach Sheeto, and I'm not just saying this because he's my brother. I say this all the time. He is the man when it comes to garage doors. I've never said that. But for real, he's if you want a guy who's going to be perfectionist, make sure he's not leaving until the job's right. I mean, that's my brother. I mean that. Thanks.
Rapid fire round.
Question number 1.
Coach Sheeto, why do you coach?
I enjoy coaching, actually, from the very get-go. It's great. I'm a kid at heart, so being able to coach 30 to 40 kids, it's amazing. Puts me right in my element. I like to.
Sorry. I farted. Sorry.
This is supposed to be rapid fire.
Shoot him.
Because I gotta go to work.
All right, here we go.
Coach Sheeto, what keeps you up at night as a coach?
Nothing really keeps me up at night as a coach. I do worry before games that I'm gonna make the right decisions, right adjustments throughout the game when I start to notice things. That's about it. Next question.
Who is Coach Sheeto's favorite coach?
That's an easy one. My brother Travis is my favorite coach. I've learned a lot.
I'm not a brown noser.
He's my brother, and I love him. All right, I gotta go to work. It's been great seeing you guys. Like and subscribe, or else.
Coach Sheeto. Coach Sheets, he's Coach Sheeto.
Yeah, bear hug.
Coach Sheeto came in for a quick second to say his who, what, why, or why, what, who. Either way, doesn't matter.
Either way.
Thank him for coming in. He has a job to do, so he's going to go. Stop. All right, so we're going to continue. Coach Willahams.
What?
Why do you coach?
Oh, sorry. I feel led to try to mold. It sounds cheesy when I say it, but it's the truth. I want to help young people make better life decisions. Every coach is a human being. They make mistakes. And I've made some serious mistakes in my life. But if I can be there for the younger generation to just help them maybe, hey man, think about what you're doing. And actually it's just one. Because the second one kind of lumps into it. But it's to help mold the youth into being good human beings. And the sport, whatever you're coaching, is just the avenue that you can do that through. Right. It's what's the word I'm looking for?
And the thing is, especially with like youth coaching from elementary to junior high, it's hard to find coaches. And what you're paid is pennies on the hour.
Yeah.
You're not doing it for the money.
If you are, you need to reevaluate some things because that's not.
I promise you're not doing it for money. I've been in youth. You're not doing it for money, but but yeah, I get that, but
yeah. Another part to why I coach, it's to win, and it's like Coach Sheets touched on it. Like you want to encourage these kids and everything, but also it's to win. This life doesn't. And this is something that I might get in trouble for, but this life doesn't allow you to lose. If you're losing every day, you're not going to have a very good life. And that you can take that however you want. Right. But it's
learning how to lose, I think, is a good thing because
it is.
Like you're going to lose.
Right.
It's how you react after you lose.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing.
And you should do it in a spirit of trying to win, though.
Right.
Like you really should. That drive should always be to, I want to be good. I want to be the best I can truly be to my potential. And if you're doing, that's a win. To clarify, I'm not saying, hey, you have to win everything, but it's always have that effort to be better. And when you do lose and hey, dude, I've poured everything into this, then it's not as heavy as a loss. Mm-hmm. It's more of a learning opportunity, you know? So,
that's what I love about football, the team aspect of I did all the workouts, all the agility training, all the fundamental, everything. I went. But there's one or two guys in there with me. That's it. That's not going to cut it.
No.
When you got schools like Hamilton Heights and Lewis Cass where everybody's in there. When the doors are open, they're there. If they're not in another sport, they're there. That wasn't happening at Peru. So that's what goes back to creating that winning culture.
Exactly.
I tell my youth kids, we are going to dominate. Yeah. That is what we are going to do. And we will dominate every team we play.
And that starts at the coach. The coach has to set that tone. Question number 2. What keeps you up at night as a coach?
This is good.
Wow.
When we got together to talk about this and you came up with this question.
So this, just not to be like, oh, I thought of this is actually from a leadership course that I took with the place that I work. They asked this about. But anyway, so that's what...
It's a fantastic question because...
It's a good one.
I had never thought of the question. It's so true. And I know what keeps me up at night, and this is awesome, because I'll lay my head down on a Friday night or a Thursday night, and we play a varsity game Friday.
Yep.
Each coach has their position. Are we in the right position? Is my position that I'm coaching in the right position to win? And is the team there? On a Friday night, after a Friday out, I'm dead tired, and I'm still up at night on my pillow, and I can't sleep because I'm just running through what we did that week, who we're playing. Did I prepare the kids right? Are they in the best position that they can be in to win?
So you're not only thinking about the game you just played, you're already
right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is I'll be at that night like, man, we missed that.
Sure,
we're not doing good here. And then I'm in the other, which last year was nice because we went 9-0 in the regular season. So you go home at night.
Shout out.
When you win and you go home at night, it's a little less. It's a little easier.
It's a little easier. Yeah.
But it's that winning mentality of constantly getting better. But
right.
So it would be, did I prepare the kids enough? And I always say this, and it might sound bad or weird, but I don't ever want us to lose because of me. I want it to be the player's fault. And what I mean by that is I can handle a loss that I can coach. What I can't do, what really bugs me is I didn't put us in the position that we needed to be to win. You know what I mean? If it's effort, I can work on that. If it's fundamentals, I've got drills for that. If it's because I was lazy, I didn't prepare right, I didn't do what I needed to do, and I see the kids walking off the field, some of them are so competitive that there'll be tears running down their face because they want to win so bad and know that it's my fault. And that's the thing. I'll tell my kids. I've told them before. That we lose by a touchdown, I'll sit there. If it was my fault, I'll own it.
No.
That was my fault. This is my fault. This is what coach did. Dude, that's on me. But there's some times where I'm like, hey man, our effort was garbage.
Yeah.
We did not have effort. You guys were not on it. You know what I mean? So it's
right,
not,
and you can only manufacture that for so long. As a coach, you can only, get hyped. You can only keep that RPM for so long before it's like they have to respond to that.
They have to respond.
As players.
They have to buy in.
And they got to buy in,
Yeah.
exactly.
But if they love you, they know you care. If they know that their best interest is in your mind, they're going to work for you. I'm telling, they will work for you.
Like I said, if you're trying to manufacture that and they're not responding, what else can you do? And I'm just asking, as a newer coach, like, what else can I do when I'm literally, my gas tank is empty and I'm trying to get these kids amped up and they're just, and I haven't personally really seen that much because I try to get jacked up and get kids going. But just, can you speak on that
that's
a
where
little bit?
that passion is organic. You love football.
Sure.
So when I step on the football field, I may walk into a practice tired, but when I start seeing pads and kids doing their drills and I start coaching, dude, I'm like, I mean, I'm just revived, I'll go from a varsity practice to a youth practice, and when that happens, I'm revived. But I would say if your kids aren't buying in, they're probably skeptical like at the beginning of the season. They don't know, they've been sitting on the couch and playing video games, and now you're like, hey, come on. So I think you just need to see who you have as a group. I think every group's different too. So I would say find a way, figure something out. Don't just, this group's they're lazy, they're not. No, find a way.
Yeah.
Don't ever, and I learned this from Coach Rom, we're not going to complain about our athletes. We're going to find a way.
Yeah. Utilize what tools you have in that toolbox.
Right.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So find a way. Figure it out. You're the coach. You can't expect the players to do your job. You just can't. It's your job to get them up. It's your job to encourage them. It's your job to get on them. It's your job to make them buy in.
Yeah.
If I make them buy in, make it a program that they want to buy into.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do here at Peru. That's my whole goal at Peru, is to get the kids to fall in love with the game. And it's easy to do that when I love the game so much because it's organic. It doesn't. I don't have to fight to be passionate about football. I just am passionate about football. So if you get the kids to love it, you're going to get the parents to love it. And if you can get the parents to love it, the community will end up loving football. Because Peru has never been a football town. We just haven't. Maybe in the 70s and 80s. But
and there's been stints where we've been successful.
Yeah, but they're stints.
But they're 5-6 years and then a drop and then back up and then a drop. It goes back to, why are these other programs, the Hamilton Heights and the Norwells and the Lewis Cass and stuff, they'll have an off year or two, but then they come right back up and then it's, they got another good team this year. And that is, you're not always going to have just a giant pool of talent.
No, you're not.
Hamilton Heights, I could argue.
No, you're not going to have that.
But
constant.
It's the coaching.
Yeah.
It's the players out there playing on the field, but it's also the culture that they're establishing there.
But if you're developing those kids from the youth, I'm averaging 18 to 20 kids in open field. These kids are not in spring sports.
Coaching's important.
These kids are not in spring sports. That's developing players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're doing drills. If you watch the video, watch it. You'll see what kind of drills we're doing. So
it's a whole conglomerate.
What keeps you up is not. I know that you took last year off because of work, but
sucks.
I guess you and Coach Shido, I got to provide for my family.
Sometimes you got to work.
Is that something we're trying to instill in these kids? Providing, being a constant. So what keeps you up at night? When you were coaching junior high, what was keeping you up at night?
Yeah, so there was there's a few things that that I had issues with, and it was being a new coach. That was, man, I'm still learning so much about how to influence these kids, these young men, and how do I develop this, and am I doing it completely wrong? Like, what am I doing? So that's number one that I had an issue with. Man, I hope I'm doing this right, because all I'm doing is trying to love these kids and be stern at times and be a butthead, for lack of a better term. But I felt like that. I think it helped some of those young men get a little callous to them, get a little callous. But anyway, so as a new coach, am I doing this right? Would be the first one. The second one is, and Coach Sheets touched on this, but it's, am I preparing them enough? Am I doing these drills to the full capacity that they need to be done at? Fundamentally, am I doing enough to where when they get out on the field, they're not, who do I tap? Where's the guy with the ball? And that's huge for a new coach, right? You have a lot of uncertainty, you lack some confidence to a degree. So that kept me up at night, was just like, man, am I fundamentally training these kids enough to do well, not only for myself, coach wants to win, but also for them forecasting out to their JV and varsity careers. It's like, could I show them something now that when they get to that next level, they're like, oh, I got this. I already know. I can take this alley, or I can, this is how you pursue correctly.
This is my job.
Yeah, this is my job.
So and that's the thing, is you fundamentally make them sound. That's what we're doing at the youth.
It's building
So when
blocks,
they go to the junior high, you fundamentally make them sound so that when we go to the high school, we're not having to teach. We teach tackling. We run tackling drills every day. You're going to do that whether they're fundamentally sound or not. But that saves a lot of time in practice that we don't have to focus so much on this thing because they've been developed as. And that's exactly right. And as a new coach, going into a high school coach's office is so intimidating. With coaches that coached me, Coach Edwards, and then you got Mac there. You're talking, Zimmer was there for a year, like
decades worth.
Dude, you're talking about
information, and knowledge.
I mean, you're 100 years of coaching there. And it's funny because the first year I'm in there, I'm like notes, and I'm a terrible note taker, but I'm taking notes, and
that's true.
They go on, but they're moving on. They move on, and you got that? I'm like, I'm still three guys trying to figure out where we're at.
Don't know yet.
But one situation of I wasn't prepared was, and this is simple, and this is what I'm talking about, because in our youth league, you can't really switch, and you have to declare your defense, you have to declare your offense.
Sure.
Which means that you can't really change formations a whole bunch. You may get 2 or 3. I think you get.
So
3
you have to set your plays, like what you're going to run. They have to know.
You have to declare them, so you have to have 3 different. Like you can have 3 different offensive formations, but you have 1 defensive formation.
Okay.
So we're in a 4-2-5, and I'm at the junior high, and they go into trips, and I didn't know how to adjust
for that.
And that actually happened last year with one of my youth coaches. He was running the defense. It was the last game of the year, and the team went into trips, and he adjusted the best that he could. But being able to show him a better way from my failure. It's not like I'm better than you. It's no, dude. I screwed up in this too. This is how you actually do it.
And that's, I think, a little bit where that intimidation factor comes in.
It's intimidating.
Because it's like, for one, you don't want to screw up, right? You don't want to be the new coach, but you're new. And you're learning. And if you're watching this and you're new, you're gonna screw up, dude.
Speak up. And if you are a veteran coach,
pour into
them. Don't make them feel intimidated so much that they won't ask questions. They're gonna ask stupid questions. I was put in the box. I'm still in the box. I've said some dumb things in the headset, and praise God for Coach Edwards, because I've said some dumb things, and I know they're sitting there thinking, what did this guy just say? Because it goes dead silent, and I'm sitting there going, why did I say that? But anyways, they've never ever made me feel inferior, or they're all about the questions. So that's really good. Just being a new coach, that's really good stuff.
Thanks, man. Quick side note.
This is good stuff, man.
I
love this.
Side note. Did we lock in Mr. Raider for an interview?
We got the champ.
The champ.
The champ.
The reigning
champion of the world, Coach Jordan Rader will be our first guest on the Coach to Coach podcast.
Yes.
Reached out to him. He absolutely was for it. So we're going to have the champ on. He coaches football. He's coached with me at the high school for 3 years now. Coaches wrestling.
Animal.
Players coach.
Yep.
Dude's a players coach. Kids love him. Awesome guy. I'm excited to get him on here and pick his brain. We've talked, but to really ask him some questions and see what he has to say. And I'm sure we'll talk about some of his wrestling career too, because dude, they're killing it in the wrestling career. But
Dirty Birds.
So the Dirty Birds. So we'll have Coach Rader on. That'll be a fun one. We'll give you a date and time for that. We're going to set that up, and it should be a good interview.
Yep, and we're going to try to get some people in the community and get Coach Edwards, Coach Mack. We're going to try to get a more intimate conversation with them about...
I'm excited about Coach Edwards, and I haven't reached out to him, but I'm about to be in a car with him for 2 hours heading up to this coach's retreat, so I might probably going to end up talking about it.
Bring that up at some point.
I will, but... What I love about Coach Edwards was one of my first thoughts. I know it was his too, because
absolutely.
Coach Edwards was a big impact as a coach on us, and we know him. He coached us. I've coached with him for some years now. So to be able to sit down and talk with that man is something that really makes me
he got selected for the...
Yes, North-South All-Star as a defensive coach.
That's a big accolade.
Yeah, this year.
That's cool.
Good job, Coach Edwards.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
But yeah, so good side note.
Question number 3. Who is your favorite coach that you played for? Send them.
I got a bunch. We talked about this in the last video. Dude, I can't give one coach all the credit.
I know.
Because there's different coaches that gave me different things. I would say Coach Zimmer for pushing me.
Yeah.
Coach Zimmer pushed me probably the hardest that I'd ever been pushed in the weight room, on the field.
Yeah.
Love Coach Zimmer. Awesome. He coached with us a couple years ago and was running. Dude's in his 60s. Running.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Running ladders with the kids. Ends up pulling that's Coach Zimmer, dude.
He's an animal,
awesome.
dude.
Coach Edwards for never letting me whine ever.
Yeah.
Coach was just like, suck it up, get on the line, do it again. Yeah. So grateful for that, and that's what I'm talking about. He didn't enable me to, no, it's all right, Sheets. You'll get her next time, buddy. No, get on the line, let's do it again. Do it till you get it right. So Coach Edwards. Coach Skelton was my junior and senior high school football coach. Coach Sipe. If we're talking from a spiritual aspect, that same time I was going through that, I went to Coach Sipe. He was a counselor at the school, and because I was just, it was a really hard time for me. There was something going on in my life that was shaking me. I went to Coach Sipe's office and was telling him what was going on, and he turns around, grabs his Bible, and he says, well, let's see what the Word has to say about this.
Yeah.
So I love you, Coach Sipe. Every time I see him, and he's a beast of a man. So every time I see him, he's actually at Lewis Cass now. But he's a beast of a man, and like we played Lewis Cass last year, and he gave me a hug. And every time he gives me a hug, I feel like a little kid. Yeah. So, but shout out to those coaches. I appreciate you very much.
I love it. Who's your favorite pro? Just your favorite pro coach?
I got 2, really. Vince Lombardi. If you ever research that man, of course you got the Lombardi Trophy, but gosh, he's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
He was a devout Christian, good man, cared about his players, but wanted to win. And that's why I really like him, because a reporter asked him one time, you always talk about winning. Is winning everything? He's like, no, it's not. It's the only thing. He talks about, I want to develop winners. I want winners. And that's what makes America so great. Yeah. We are winners.
Amen.
So
put a bald eagle over you.
Bald eagle flying. Absolutely. Coach John Gruden.
Amen.
Coach John Gruden's 4'2". No. And he looks up to the
He is a legal midget. John Gruden is.
And he looks up to these giants and yells. I love Coach Gruden. That's probably the old school coach in me. I love that stuff. He's very vulgar, so be careful looking him up with your kids. Yeah. But I really like Coach John Gruden, so those would probably be my
super smart.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
dude, that football IQ is crazy.
Unreal.
How about you? Who is your favorite coach that you ever played for at the time when you were in high school or youth or any other time that you played football when you were playing as a youth guy? Did that cover it?
You got it. You got it. God, there's so many. Like you said, there's a lot of coaches that you could put in there, but dude, it's got to be Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if he's ever even realized, but he played such a big. I looked up so much to him.
Oh yeah.
Not even the football, obviously, and he was an awesome coach, and I loved that guy. I loved playing for him because I feel like we could have been better, but like there wasn't a whole lot that he was working with in that group. We had a lot of injuries. But he consistently built me and the other linebackers up, dude. He was stern. He was very loud. But I needed that. I don't think he realizes how much at that time, the same situation you had, but I needed a strong male figure in my life to. So Coach Edwards, I don't think he realizes because of how much enthusiasm and everything he poured into the practices and even on the field and everything, man, he really impacted me, and I loved going to practice.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't no games, but it was with him, but I needed that. And these are dividends that you don't see as a coach until they're 34 years old, reflecting back on, man, and then they're coaching, they're like, man, what's a good coach look like? Like, he's always inconsistent. That dude's there. He's always there.
He's been there.
It's
Crappy
like,
season.
Yeah, he's there. That's kudos to coach, and love you, man. That's
Favorite pro coach?
Ooh. So I would go with, he's not a pro. He coached at a university.
Well, there you go.
Newt Rockne. I'd rather go with Newt Rockne. Newt Rockne was just an animal.
Oh, yeah. The house that Rockne built. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you very much. We got interviews coming up. We're going to set those up. It's like I always like to say, if you want a good podcast, do it the interview way.
Yep.
I never said
Why
that's
do you
the
keep
first
doing
time I've
that?
ever
Just
said
like I say, if you eat hay down by the bay all day, you'll have the chance to pray. Amen.
I hear you say that
Man.
all the time.
I say that all the time.
If you're a Peruvian, this is going to be a channel as well. I've done this probably every video. This is going to be a channel as well for the Peru community. So please subscribe. It helps us out. Helps us know that you guys want more content, because this takes a lot of time. Editing and all that stuff takes time. Planning and all that stuff. So please subscribe. Hit the bell notification so that you guys can be notified when a new video drops. We appreciate you.
What was I going to say? You kept talking so much.
I was trying to.
Yeah, my brain literally turned to mashed potatoes.
What?
I have mashed potato brain. Anyway, love you guys.
We'll see you guys. Love you. Have a good one. And subscribe. Bell notification. That's 3 times we've said it now, so we
Like
really
and
mean it.
subscribe
We love
4
you.
times.
See you later. We love you. Coach Sheets. Bye.
Coach Will.